All right, let's see how this turns out. This is really just an excuse to test out my new camera. It's the same camera that this guy uses, so I want to give it a shot. So let's not mince words. Yes, I liked it very, very much. This is an excellent movie. It is an excellent Batman movie. It's very unique, not just amongst its own series, but really the whole superhero genre in general. It's quite unlike anything that's come before or since. I know it's been getting a lot of comparisons to like Seven and movies like that, like just really dark murder mystery type films, and it's a tone that really does fit Batman and his world very well. And Matt Reeves, who's an excellent director, who's made a lot of great films in the past, really takes his knack for making silly things seriously, but not forgetting what makes people like those things in the first place. This is one of the best casts for any Batman movie ever, really. I think Zoe Kravitz is a top tier Catwoman. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable as the Penguin. You know, you've seen the picture of him. It doesn't look anything like him, but he is completely lost in the role. It is unlike anything he has done previously, and it's a revelation. It really should be Oscar worthy. It's his best comic book work ever, better than his work in Daredevil. Jeffrey Wright is a fantastic James Gordon. He's a very tired and exasperated James Gordon, but he's a James Gordon who still believes in what he does. Paul Dano is honestly very terrifying as the Riddler. He's not in it for much, but when he is there, you know he's there. You just feel scared to be looking at this character. And then of course there's Robert Pattinson, R-Bats, Robert Battinson, Rob Battenbat, whatever you want to call him. He is fantastic. His Batman is excellent. He is everything you want out of a Batman and more. He has the screen presence. He has a great voice. He has an intensity and a fury to him, while also still remembering what makes Batman work, not just as a vigilante, but as a superhero. Like, Batman can be many things. He can be mean, he can be dark, he can be aggressive, but he is never cruel, and Pattinson does a great job of towing that line, always getting up to the edge of cruelty, but never overstepping it. He knows what his boundaries are and he stays within them. He's not a perfect fighter, but he's got a great keen mind, and as a lot of people have been saying, this is the first Batman film to really show him as a detective, and Pattinson pulls that off impeccably. The story is trying to be very modern, very much about what's going on today, things like wealth inequality, the roles of billionaires in today's world, surveillance issues, privacy issues, things like that. Whether or not the film succeeds in hitting all those points and saying something valuable about them is really going to be up to every individual viewer. But for my purposes, at least, they served a great context to fit this overall story. And for the most part, I think it hit all of its points very well. One thing I appreciate about this film, and I think a lot of others did as well, you can definitely tell, especially if you read comics, you can tell and see the comic book influences that Matt Reeves put into the screenplay. There's the obvious elements like Batman Year One, The Long Halloween, but also Darwyn Cooke's ego that Matt Reeves has specifically called out. There's elements of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Zero Year and the No Man's Land epic. And I like seeing things like that. I like seeing directors and writers take different elements from different eras of superheroes and putting them together to make one singular, unique vision that's their own vision, but also paying homage to not just one particular take, but 80 years worth of Batman content. The movie does have flaws, and the two biggest ones that I always come back to is the depiction of Bruce Wayne specifically and the film's runtime. So I said Robert Pattinson's Batman is excellent, and he is. His Bruce Wayne, on the other hand, is a very different beast. It's very different from any other Bruce Wayne we've ever seen in live action, and really the comics for that matter. There's not really a lot of Bruce Wayne in this film. Even when he takes off the mask, he's still more or less in the Batman persona. And even when he's around other people, it's still like this sad, distant, angry guy. There's no Bruce Wayne persona to speak of, really. And there really isn't a whole lot of Bruce Wayne in the movie as a whole. For the majority of the film, Pattinson is either in the Batman suit or he's in like that drifter getup with the hoodie and the makeup on his eyes riding around on the motorcycle, which to me is just still Batman in casual clothes. I know it's still the early days of the character and he's still trying to figure himself out, so to speak, but it was just very jarring to me that we didn't get a whole lot of Bruce Wayne when previous movies have no problem showing us a lot of Bruce Wayne. But on the other hand, that's not really that big of a deal. There have been comics and even episodes of the animated series where there's no Bruce Wayne at all. It's just all Batman. So that's fine with me. Again, it was just a little different and jarring from what we're used to. A bigger issue though is the film's runtime. Yes, it is just about 3 hours long and it feels like a 3-hour long movie, especially towards the end. I don't want to spoil anything or give anything away, but there comes a point in the third act where the movie is done. It's wrapped up. Batman solves all the problems, and then all of a sudden there's a brand new conflict and he's got to go deal with that. And like sitting there in the theaters, I could feel it just adding and adding to the runtime. And I said to myself, this movie just keeps going and going and going. And to a point, the last section of the film kind of does feel at odds with what came before. It felt like we went from a dark, more intimate murder mystery to a superhero film, for lack of a better word. But overall, I enjoyed it very much. I think if you go to see it, you will enjoy it as well. Or even if you wait until it's on HBO Max, I think it's 45 days after theatrical release, you will enjoy it. Maybe you'll enjoy it better on TV because you'll get to pause it and take as many breaks as you want. Although I will say, this is the first movie I've seen in theaters in 2 years, maybe a little more. The last movie I saw was Sonic the Hedgehog in theaters, and seeing this on a big screen really is very impressive. I know I've said before, if you've watched the podcast, I've said you don't have to go to the movies to enjoy a movie, but there really is something to be said about seeing it on the big screen. But if you're not there yet, and if you can wait, then yeah, it'll be on HBO Max. You can just watch it in your pajamas. Be comfortable. I mean, that's when I'm next gonna see it. That's when my wife's gonna see it. I'm excited to see it again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm all in on this version of the movie. I mean, I already bought the toys for it. I don't buy toys of Batman movies I don't like. I don't own any BVS toys. I'm not ready to rank this movie just yet in terms of, where it sits on the spectrum of Batman movies. I will say I don't think it's better than the Dark Knight trilogy. I still think that's the high watermark for me personally of cinematic Batman. That's the closest to my ideal version of Batman that I've seen in live action before. But that said, this is pretty high up there. Depending on how you rank the films, I would definitely say if you're a fan of Batman, this would be pretty high up there. Unless you're really only into the high camp type of Batman, Adam West or The Brave and the Bold, or you're still upset that Ben Affleck didn't get his Batman movie, then you're going to like this film, especially if you're a Batman fan. And I think even if you're a fan of movies in general. Like, my mom is not really a superhero fan, but she likes murder mysteries, and I think she's going to get a kick out of this. So that's it. No long video, just a quick hello, hey, how you doing? Sorry it took a year to make another one of these things. I've been busy. This is just a quick, let me test my new camera and also tell you that I think Batman is good. Of course, be sure to let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe, share it with friends and whatnot. Do all the YouTube crap. I felt like sitting down on the floor for this one, give it a more intimate feeling because this is a more intimate version of Batman. Let me know. Let me know if you like getting down like this. If I do another video, I was thinking of doing it on the floor. So let me know if you get a kick out of it. So thank you all for watching this, and I hope to see you eventually. I make no promises. Go check out some old videos I did in the meantime. Bye.